Hi, this is a quick video to kind of show you the ins and outs of the renewals, from pricing to generating the offers, to what it looks like on the resident's point of view, what control you have over the message that sends to them, as well as how you can actually process it and track it. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is set up your 2017, 2018, or whatever lease dates. You should have already emailed help desk for that because you can't really do renewals until we've set up next year's term dates. Assuming that has happened, then the first step that you need to do on site is actually set your renewal pricing. To do that, it's going to be under Setup, then Properties. Then you'll select your property. It will be Pricing, Rent, which should be defaulted, and more than likely it's at unit type. Most of our student sites utilize unit type. So when you're under this screen, you're going to see that there's prospect and renewal rents. You'll click on renewal rents, and then you should see a line for each unit type already set up. If it's blank, then you'll just need to add rent pricing for each one of those. But if you had renewal rates last year, then you should already have them laid out. You'll just need to update them. Now, the two main ways that Horizon Properties do renewal offers are number one, a floor, like a min max type offer. And what that is for each unit type, you set a floor of what any you want, the lowest offer to be. So anyone below that offer gets raised to it. Anyone above that offer just simply stays at what they're at rather than it going down. And that's what these are set up for right now. Now this screen, the amount column, min max right here, this is all just a summary. To actually edit them, you would click under lease terms right here. So you'll notice that there's two lease terms. There's 2016, 2017, and 2017, 2018. Obviously, we don't want 2016 or 2017 included in the offer because that's the existing contract. So we're going to make sure that it's not active and it's not web visible. We do want the fall 2017 one, so we want to make sure it's active, web visible, and we're going to set the minimum right there. Notice that this amount column is 0, the maximum is 0. We're only setting the minimum amount. Like, the next thing is, notice there is no save button right here. You simply need to click out of it and save right here, otherwise your work will not be saved. So that is how you would set a min max. The formula needs to be set to current plus fixed amount. Even though we're selecting that, we're not actually setting what a fixed amount is. That is just the only option that actually unlocks the min max. If we were to switch that, let me go in and hurry and clear that. If we were to actually switch this to fixed amount, then these become grayed out. So we need to make sure that if you did a min max before, like these ones, that you go and clear the minimum before you switch this. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to. If it's a fixed amount, then it's really simple. All you do is go in here and you say what the amount is you want set. Now right here, the summary will change to 0 to 664. That's just because the inactive one right there is 0. That one is 664. So that's where that range comes from. So again, this is just a summary. This isn't, telling you anything other than a summary of what's in here. So you don't need to worry if it looks a little bit off. And that's all you need to do for a fixed amount. You fix amount, click in, and just simply set it under the amount column. Now, if you're switching from a fixed amount to the floor, then you just do the opposite. You're going to do current plus fixed amount. That unlocks min max. So then you'll go into lease terms. You'll leave the amount columns alone, and you'll set what you want the minimum to be right here. So go ahead and save. You can go back in, and it's now there as the min for this. So if you're doing this, that means everyone in the B1 unit type is going to be raised to 664 unless they are already paying more than that. If they're paying more than that, they'll simply stay where they are. So that's how you set the renewal pricing. If you need any additional one-on-one work, please reach out to Help Desk and we'd be happy to assist. Once you have the pricing done, now you're ready to actually generate the offers. To do that, you're going to go under Residents and Renewals and Create Renewals. Most of you should only have access to one property, so it wouldn't quite be as messy as mine. So once you select the property, you can actually generate it by unit type, which is what I suggest. The reason I suggest that is it's a little bit easier to manage and to check. The way bulk offers works in Entrada is when you generate the offers or you select the people, it actually will on one screen pull all of the offers one after the other. So if you're doing one unit type, it's much easier to verify that the rates are correct going out. We don't expect you to necessarily go through with a fine tooth comb, but you need to at least glance at it to make sure nothing looks off. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select, it's really finicky. I'm going to go ahead and select the B1. Now right here, these dates, this is the expiration date. For most student properties, the expiration date is going to be July 31st, 2017 for this example. I'm going to go one day past it, so I'm going to say July or August 1st, 2017. I'm going to search it. So this is going to show you everyone that meets this criteria. Most of your properties will have more than one name pop up. For this example, we just wanted to do the one name. So he's the only person that meets the criteria. It works the same as if you have 100 people. You would check the ones that you want to create the offer for, or you can check this box up here and it will check all of them. You'll then select set up offers. I generally suggest setting up 10 to 20 at a time, simply because it makes it easier so you don't get lost at it, lost in the data when you're verifying the amounts are right. So I'm now going to click set up offers. I mentioned before that the way bulk renewal offers work in Entrada is one offer will be listed after the next. Now this one is only one offer. If we had multiple, then the next one would show up right starting right here, and so forth and so on. So looking at this, the fall semester is selected. If there were multiple eligible semesters, then they would both be selected, and you'd need to select which one that you want to send it out for. Again, most of our student sites, that wouldn't come into play. If you'll notice that 664 has come into play though. For the B1, it is the minimum. So James is currently paying 619, so we've raised him to 664. Now this offer expiration date, you can edit it individually. However, if you want it to be a date in the future for all of your renewal offers, the easiest thing to do is to actually change it under your setup. Now it'd be nice if you could actually set that firm date, but the way it works under setup, and that's under residence, renewals, and offers, is it will say renewal offer expiration 20 days. So if I want to change that from November 27th to the 30th, I'm going to change that to 23 days. And hit save. And I can exit out, then click on set up offers again. And now if you'll notice, it's updated to 23 days ahead of today's date. So now on 11/30. Renewal specials we don't utilize very often just because one-time offers don't work very well with the system at all. Now, one of the things that you need to be mindful of are the other charges. The system by default will assume that all secondary charges that they're currently paying are what you want for the renewal as well. So if they are paying $25 for pet rent, that's going to show up here as $25. So if you want to increase each individual offer, you're going to need to click on that new amount for each offer. There's not a way of doing that in bulk. If you're adding a new charge on your renewals, such as you're requiring renter's insurance now as a group policy, unless they opt out, then on every single one, you're going to need to click to add a monthly charge. You'll have to select the appropriate code. So RINSU for renter's insurance. And you'll have to say $10 or whatever your policy is. Now this example is an employee unit, so that's why there's concessions on there. Just ignore that for right now. So we have the base rent that was set based on our renewal pricing. We've added one monthly charge right here. So we're going to go ahead and click renewal. Again, if you had 10 people selected, they would be listed one after the other, and at the bottom of that would say create renewal. So when this comes up, this is where we can actually notify the residents. We do not have a ton of control over what they are presented with, but we do have a little bit of control, and I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is, as soon as you create the offer, hit email offer. It says your offer has been successfully sent. What that's going to do is that's going to send a very basic email to the resident to let them know that they have a renewal offer pending, and that they should log into their portal to actually view what that offer is. So this is what it would look like. It says renewal offer for James Williamson. Thank you for making the Republic your home. Please review your renewal offer. Prices are subject to availability, and this price is limited and may sell out. Act now to lock in this rate before the prices increase. Now this message is something that you can edit. The rest of it right here and all this fun stuff is not. So where you would edit this message on the invitation for them to actually renew would be under setup, setup properties, your property, then communication, system messages, residents. And if you scroll down to renewals, there's an option that says renewal offer invitation email text. And that is what I just pointed out right there. So that's the paragraph on the actual offer to renew that you can control. Now, the next thing you can edit is actually their renewal offer that's attached. So they can click on it, they can view it. It's a very standard form, and a lot of it you can't control. However, you can actually create a message that appears right under Dear James Williamson, or the name, or the one right here. So in this case, they've added that wording at the bottom, just so that again they can specify that the offer could actually be revoked prior to the expiration based on how many people actually renew. So where you would edit this is under setup properties, then residents, renewals, and if you scroll down, custom text under renewal offer footer. Obviously, if you wanted it to appear under the name, that would be the header. But in this case, we wanted it to be at the bottom, so a little easier to keep separate. So we edited that right here. So that's another way that you can edit and control that part of the message. Okay, so now you have created the renewal offer. One more way that you can communicate with the resident through the system that some people really like is by going under residents, renewals. We're going to go ahead and select the Republic to clean this up a little bit. This is going to show the status of all your renewals. Renewal offers started means you have created the offer and that's as far as it's gotten. If it says anything other than that, that means that the resident themselves have started the process, or you guys have actually pushed it further along in the office. So if you wanted to actually do a direct email to give you a little bit more control over letting the resident know they have an offer, you would just click on all their names or the select people. You can hit email, and this is where you can actually do a standard email, renewal offer. You can say whatever you want. A lot of sites have created like a custom Word document. You can actually copy and paste a lot of that in here. There's some built-in merge fields. They do not have renewal merge fields, so you need to be very broad, and you can say something along the lines of, that you have a renewal offer available, and then you can even include in this email that link to your portal account so that they can click on it from this email as well. But by doing this, you can customize this message a little bit more than the other options I've shown you, and then you can send it. So that's how you can communicate the offers to the resident. Now, if the resident doesn't get any of that communication, they'd still see that they have a renewal offer pending when they went into their portal account. So I am going to go ahead and go into James's portal account. And so even if I had not gotten that communication, I would see this. You have a renewal offer. So I'm going to go ahead and review the offer. It's going to ask you some basic data. Once you select the appropriate one, which usually there's only one, it's going to update the information up here. Go ahead and hit save and continue. You're going to verify some information. Some of your sites give the option of someone selecting a request for transfer. Most of our sites opt to not have that because they want the residents to actually contact the office if and when they do want to transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the renewal. Now this is where you get into the automation piece. This year we're really pushing to automate this paperwork as much as possible. We want the resident to be able to select their offer and then go straight into the signature. The trick that we're coming across right now is if there's a guarantor, then the system actually requires that the guarantor is sent something during this process. We're working with Entrada right now to see if we can get around that. Um, because if you don't have a form that's for the guarantor, it will stop the automation. It will push them to their dashboard, and the office will need to actually generate the paperwork. Um, the reason that's significant is it's just another step to the process that's not automated that we want to go around. And we're working on alternatives and ways around that. But for right now, if you have a guarantor, we have to have something for the guarantor to sign. I have created a notification document that can go that would fulfill that need that they don't have to sign. But unless they view it, then you won't get the notification that the paperwork is complete. So you'll have to keep track of your renewals through your renewal offer screen. In this example, there is no guarantor. It's really simple. So it's automatically pushed them into their lease signature stage. So they would hit yes, I want to go ahead and continue. They're going to review their paperwork. I'll try to hurry through this the fastest I can. I'm hoping that the residents take the time to actually read the documents, but I would say that 99% of them, unless they're pre-law students, probably do not do this, despite having an abundance of free time. Most of them probably do not bother with this. Now, each of your properties is going to be set up differently too. Some of them will be set to do signatures on every page. Some will do initials. Some will do one signature for all the forms. I'm going to go ahead and jump to the very end of this. So there's going to be a slight jump in your screen. Okay, I've jumped ahead. I'm now on the last document. I wanted you to be able to see this because if a resident calls, I want you to be able to walk them through what they're going to see. So as soon as they finish each document and they hit continue, it's going to show a summary of each of these. I'm working with Entrada to see if they can do some sort of indication of which one they're on, but they should be able to hit open next document and we'll go right into the next one. So in this case, it's the fifth of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and sign it. And it'll say, congratulations, all your documents are signed. Great. Now, if you are using a concession addendum or you have a secondary addendum that is not required, then what you can actually do is after they've signed this, you can actually go into their account and create a one-off form. So it doesn't even really matter what it is. For most of you, it would be a concession addendum. I'm just going to do no smoking. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit send. Generate the document. So now if the resident was back in their account, it has an additional document that needs to be signed. So there's not a big thing up here, but this way you can tell the resident, we have created one additional form for you. Please go back in, and under your priority alerts, under your balance due, you can actually click and sign one more document. That allows us to get around the obstacle where certain forms can't be automated because the concessions that we like to run, like cashback rewards, don't work well with the renewal system that we are currently in place. All right, so now they've signed that. So now the question is, how do you know what's being done? Well, the first way is you should be getting email notifications when leases progress. You can always look into that a little bit more. That's under Setup Properties. Then your property, communication, notification recipients. And there should be some email addresses set up, including messages that they receive. So you can edit existing by clicking that pencil, or you can add. You could say, leasing at, sure. And then you can go through and say which notifications from the system, you want this email to get. Generally, whatever the generic office email is will get the majority of um, admin emails. So you just need to go through and select it. There are quite a few options, so please take the time. So that's one way that you can know what's going on. Another way is probably what most of you do, just through the dashboard. I'm going to quickly change mine to just one property so it's not quite so messy. All right, so now under approvals, under eSign Docs, there's going to be two things here because of what I just did. A packet, which is that renewal packet, as well as an individual document, which was that smoke addendum, but it would be what you would do for your concession addendum, for example. So that's one way that you would know, okay, I need to actually sign these and finish the renewal. Now, if you remember, I mentioned that if the account has a guarantor, it's not going to actually progress to this stage until the guarantor views whatever document we send them, even if we don't require a signature. And so what you would need to do is just simply pay attention to your email notifications and or look through the renewal tab for ones that say, a different status and check in on that. Because if we do anything with the guarantor where they don't have to sign things, then we're making it so the automation works, but you can actually complete the renewal without the guarantor doing anything. We just have to have the form in there in order to create the automation for the primary resident. So we can talk about that individually. I'm going to send some examples of that form out to see if that's what we need to do. I'm also waiting to hear back from Entrada about whether or not that functionality can be danced around or whether or not that's just how it works. So that is a very quick down and dirty run through of the renewal process, setting your pricing, editing messages, sending them out, and what it looks like from the resident's point of view. I know I talk really fast to try to condense a lot of that information, so that's why I made the video, so you can go back and make sure that you're following each step. But as I've mentioned before, if you have any questions, please reach out to Help Desk, and we would be happy to do a one-on-one session with you to make sure that things are how they need to be. Thank you.